Tamasho ma jyotirgamaya Maidhi Rudro Yate Dakshinang Mukham Te Namang Pahi Nityam Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness to light. Lead us from death to immortality. And evermore shine in our hearts with your resplendent face. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto us all. Now, thanks to God and thanks to all of you that we have turned the pages of this Vedanta text, that Yoga Vasishta Sara, which is called the Nectar of Supreme Knowledge, at least once, cover to cover. So now we can skip to other books, but it is such a grand book. To do some justice to it, I think we should spend more time. So I will spend another 5 classes on it, so that the year is over with this book, and then we start something in January. This will be the recapitulation of what we have read and what this great book has given, to revise that, so that you can get an overall idea about what this text totally means. So these are 10 chapters. This is again, to go back to the history of it, it is an advice. The Rama become dispassionate to the palace, to the king and kingly, all joys and funs of life. It become meaningless. It become useless and meaningless for him. So he was in a mood of dispassion, and he was trying to detach and to renounce everything. So when that was the situation, then his father, Dasharatha, engaged their family guru, Vasishthadev, to advise Rama so that he can give his mind to rule this kingdom. So, this conversation, Rama is not an ordinary student, therefore the advice what he gave is not an ordinary. And to such a brilliant, as a person, if we look at that, his questions to be satisfied, it needs deep intellectual ability of the teacher, as also the spiritual content, because Rama is God himself. So he wants to see the meaninglessness of life. Everything is transient, everything is passing away. So what is the purpose of this life? Why we shall be a king? Why shall rule? It is not. It is all absolute. Brahman is the truth. This world has no value of it. That was the state, which was the starting point of discussion. But it ended in a wonderful way. That, O Rama, you are seeing this world. What is this world? Yes, it is all changes. Everything is transient, if you look at it from the materialistic standpoint. But this is an appearance. What is changing is the name and form. An unchanging truth is that Brahman, the Absolute, which has no change. But still you see this world. But you see wrongly, it is all Brahman you are seeing. What you are seeing as table, chair, person, sun, moon, stars, it's all your name, and you are talking about name and form. But whose name? It is Brahman has in the shape. You are talking about Brahman only. So this is called the state of Vijnana. Vijnana is a state after illumination when you come down. Then you see the whole world not as meaningless name and form, but it is the same Brahman in every form, every name. It is only the same ocean, the absolute ocean Brahman, only in the form of ripple or form, but it is all the ocean water. There's nothing but ocean. You are seeing nothing but ocean. So whom to renounce then? It is for the beginner of the Vedanta student. They will have to practice because they are attached to the objects of the world, to the senses and the sense identity with the sense objects. Because of that they are suffering. But it is not the case, O Rama, your case is not the same. You see from that platform of knowledge of Brahman, when you view it, it is all you see, only Brahman in different names and forms. It is a play. And that is why to fear? Why to fear it? Why to renounce it? Where to go renouncing? Because there is no other thing but Brahman. You cannot go anywhere where there is no Brahman. You cannot come from anywhere where there is no Brahman. It is all absolute, beginningless, endless, infinite reality. So you should not renounce. It is all you are dealing only to freshen your outlook, how you see at it and how you experience at it. But consciously you should have to be convinced that you are only totally seeing that same Brahman. So that was the beautiful starting of this Yoga Vasishta. And as we have read, Yoga Vasishta was original Yoga Vasishta is a huge volume of book which practically is difficult for any person to read in one lifetime. Maybe people read, that was 30,000 or something verses were there. 60,000. 60,000. Now imagine 60,000. And then some unknown person brought it to 6,000. And then someone brought it to kindly this person 232 verses. So it is a cream of the whole Yoga Vasishta. And this 232 verses have been divided into 10 chapters. And then 10 chapters are named as Vairagya Prakaranam, the chapter of detachment, the unreal nature of the universe. You should renounce. First of all, detachment should come. How detachment will come? Because it's taking one from one step to the another step. Detachment is the very foundation of spiritual life. Why? Detachment to the worldliness, attachment to divine, attachment to Brahman. So the real meaning of the detachment, and some verses has been collected there in that detachment as Vairagya Prakaran. Second chapter is called the Jagat Mithatva Prakaran. This world is mitha. Mitha means not, it is non-existent. Mitha means your perception, you see, but it does not remain the same tomorrow. So it is a subject which you see to be true, but it is changing its shape and name and form and all identities. So the unreal nature of the universe, that is the Jagat Mithatva Prakaran. And What is the escape of it? Third chapter, it is called the self-knowledge, tattva jnana prakarana. Only by tattva jnana, jnana means knowledge, knowledge of tattva, thatness, that reality, that absolute reality, tattva, when that knowledge comes, that is chapter, is called the chapter of self-knowledge. But when it will happen? It says, manoloyo prakaranam, when your mind will cease to exist. Our mind is now functioning, that's why we see the world. When our mind becomes blank, our eyes become like that, we don't see anything, we don't hear anything. So mind, how to destroy the mind, or mono will be loyo. Loyo means absorbed. In what? In Brahman. This mind, which is absorbed in the objective universe, seeing so many varieties of things, when that is absorbed in Brahman, mind will die. That is called monoloyo. That daily dissolution of the mind, and this monoloy is very difficult. Why? Even if you try to dissolve your mind, your latent impressions are there in your mind, past sanskaras, past impressions. So these, you have to destroy them. Those latent impressions are to be destroyed. Unless you destroy that, the surface killing will not do. As in the tree, you can clean the top of the tree, but you cannot kill the tree, because tree has its root somewhere. So you have to root out. That's called, you have to go to the depth of your latent, that means you start your practice to wipe out the distraction in the top of the mind, and go down, down, down. Its root is called vasana. That's why vasana bija. That's why to destroy the vasana, seed of vasana. Vasana means desire. Desire you can chop. There is a rasagolla, there is a ice cream, and I will not eat. Okay? That's the desire. But I can chop out superficially. But the desire which is hidden, if we don't deal with that, and by analyzing or experiencing little bit and understanding, yes, I do take ice cream, but what that? Another desire comes, another time to have it. Why? There is a latent impression in the mind which is pulling my mind or directing my mind to go for that, go for that. So you can chop out in the surface, but it remains in the subconscious. That's why it is called you have to work with that vasana, deep-rooted, these impressions of desires. And how that will go? 6th chapter, Atma Manana. Just contemplate on your Atman. See? You are contemplating on the worldly objects, your mind got polluted with that. Now you absorb yourself with the spiritual truth, your divine self, Atma Manana. Mind should be rotating around that consciousness. Atman, 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 the self, capital self, Satchidananda self. So think that I am Atman, I am Atman, instead of I am the body, I am the body. We have become I am the body. So anything happens in the body, so we feel the joy of that or the suffering of that. Now, you say, this chapter deals with that you now contemplate on the self, Atma Manana, your own self, think who are you, and dive there deep, and that will be destroying the latent impression. That will help to destroy the superficial desires, surface desires. So we have to go from gross to subtle, surface desire. That's why, you see, if you don't little have a mastery over that, then mind will push you every time, and then you go more and more and more. People get intoxicated. How? Once they get into it, and they could have avoided. It is not that very important. Those who are supposed to never has drunk. So if someone gives some wine, perhaps it will not be good, but still there is some intoxication. Okay. Like, even say, good example, Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, first of all, you eat, wow, good, it's good. And that feeling, good, good, good. Again taking, again taking, again taking. Then how to become? Every time I sit for my lunch or something, one Coca-Cola can should be there. How? And then it becomes a habit. And then it becomes, oh my God, it goes to the subconscious, where you don't get a cup of or glass of Coke, then you are not satisfied. The best food will not give you satisfaction. So this is a bondage. So this is the way we get intoxicated. And when you get intoxicated, it goes to the substratum. So if it goes to the substratum, then you cannot chop on the top. The root is there. You have to work on that. How to root out? Think, I am Atman, I am Atman, I am pure, I am stainless, I am birthless, I am deathless. Like that constant. Say Atma Manana Prakarana. That chapter, contemplation on the self. Now, but this Atma Manana, as much as we do, my mind will not go that direction. Therefore, next chapter is Suddhi Nirupana Prakarana. How to purify it. Purification of the mind. How to do that purification, that is discussed, ascertaining the means of purification. How you purify your mind. So, Vedantic practices, as I said, I am Atman, that is one, positive. Another negative is that I am not the body, not the mind, negative way, what I am not. So you have to attack two directions. To our ignorance, a two-way fight. One is from the positive side, another in the negative side. Negative side, because we are convinced that this body is me for a long time, so you have to say not this, not this, not this. Negative way. And positive way, I am the Atman, I am the Atman, I am the Atman. That's why Vedanta teaches both positive and negative aspect of practice. So here, this studies that Suddhi Nirupana, the 7th chapter, which deals with the purification. You need Suddha. You have to make your mind Shuddha. Shuddha means pure. How to make it pure, that you have to decide. That you have to study. And those steps to be taken for your regular practice. Now the 8th chapter deals with, now when you, with this purification, you attain to your Atman, then what is that Atman? Atman is so great. So that chapter is called Atma Archana. You worship your Atman, as it were. That means the highest achievement of human life is to attain to our real self, attain to that state of real self. That's why our glorification of the Atman. The mind always knows Atman is the best, Atman is the best, not this, Atman is the best. So our tendency turns. You can tell anyone, this is good, this is good, this is good 10 times, then you feel it is good. The consumers, whatever advertisement comes, no? How they glorify. They are selling, say, some knife. How good, how good. And you see, they show that one knife you are putting, my God, it was struggling hard to cut that. And the new design what they have brought out, and just touch, boom, it goes like that. So it is, you are seeing in the commercial exhibitions again and again and again. When you see that, then your idea goes, your tendency goes. So you say, bah, it's good, it's good, it's good. So that type of sense of goodness is to be imposed in the mind. So ascertaining the adoration of the self. So Atman is great, Atman is best, Atman is the holiest of the holy. This idea again and again, again and again, repeatedly saying, then mind will be bending towards that. And then if you know it is highest, you will dedicate your time, your energy, everything. When you know, oh, that is great. See, people run for that. People risk their life also. Gold is good, no? Gold will make me rich. And gold rush. then what happened? How many people were killed? No? How many people died in the gold rush? But gold is good, it's money, it will make me rich, it will make me. So this type of desire was pushed him. So similarly, when one thinks that Atman is best, then Atman will push you. The state of now, ascertain Atma Nirupana, Atma Archana, they are almost the same idea. First to ascertain and to adore. Adoration of the Atman. And now be definite what is that Atman. And then last one, that is the state. 10th chapter we just finished. The Shunno Ashunno Pada. That is a state which it is void of this material world. Or Ashunno, no, it is not void, it is filled with the divine. It is either you can say, you cannot say Shunna, because void. Is void of truth also? No, void of name and form. But it is full with Satchidananda, Atman. So these are the 10 chapters. It has been divided in this. So we will try now to read a little bit of their chapters. First the detachment, chapter of detachment. So each chapter has some is big, some is small. So we'll finish it in 5 sessions. So today is the first session. So we start the chapter of detachment. So what the chapter of detachment starts with that? It says, that first of all it's saying, this book is meant for whom? That should be a proper type of aspirant. Who is the right type of aspirant? Adhikari. Like you have read in the Vedanta Sara. Who is the competent student? Who is the competent student to read this book? Who is liberated? It is not for him. Who is deep into deep attachment to the world and worldliness? Not for them. So for whom? That we hear. The verse number 2 on page 5, it says, Ahang baddho vimukta syam iti jasasti nishchaya na tantamaggo na tajga swasmin sastre udhikaravan. He is the person who is fit to read this, study this book, Adhikari, competent, who ahang baddho. He understands that I am in bondage. I am bound under the circumstances, under the condition of my mind, external environment, internal environment. I am a miserable person. I am born in bondage as if I want to be free. Aham baddho vimukta syama. I wanted to be free. Visheshena mukta, totally free. Iti jasya osti nishchaya. This much conviction, this much desire is definitely in one. As that person, na attantam aggo, total idiot. Idiot in the sense who has no taste for it. They don't care for it. That you can find. How many people in the world is undergoing suffering, but how many of fortunate people are there taking advantage of this suffering? They are turning towards God, towards self-realization, towards finding some means to get out. So Ramakrishna gave the example, you remember. There are 4 types of jivas are there. Baddha, giving the example of the casting net, the fish in the net, no? Baddha, they are very happy. Being caught into the trap of the net, they push their mouth and head into the mud under the pond, and think that we are safe. But it's awaiting only when the fisherman will pull the net and it will come out of the water. So people have so much suffering and pain, never think of any way to get out of it. So that is the baddha. And then some fish know that they are caught. So they are trying to just how to get out. Run this side, run that side, trying to cut the net, swim below the net. They are called baddha, mukta, mukta will be coming, nitya mukta, baddha, and these are struggling souls. This category can get, we are in that category. We are neither totally ignorant, we are not very satisfied in the ignorant life, we try to get out of it, we know that we are caught into the net. And we'll die if we remain in this state. So we are struggling ourselves, praying to God, and thus so that I can get out of the net of the world and worldliness. And some fish is so intelligent, when the net even is just going to fall, they just jump out of it and then get free. They are called nitya. Nitya jeev, baddha jeev, mumukshu jeev. Mumukshu means who was trying to get themselves liberated from bondage. So here it is said, na attanta maggo, not those people who are totally ignorant about life and the truth, no? About the truth. No tajga. It is not for them who have already realized the truth. Tajga. So I must be nadhikarma. So he alone is competent to study the scripture, who is neither altogether ignorant, nor a knower of truth, and who has the firm resolution that I am bound in the worldly bondage, and I intend to be liberated from this state of bondage. So this book is fit for that type of person. But this desire will not come. No? I like to be free. I like to be liberated. It's a rare desire. Only by God's grace it can happen. That's why he said, Javat na anugraha sakshat jayati parameshwarat tavat na sadguru kaschit satsastrang vapi na labhate. So that person, until he receives the direct grace of the Supreme Lord, that means God's grace, that means those people who want to be liberated, they prayerful, they pray, do their prayer, and God become gracious. And what is the sign of God's grace? That one cannot take refuge in a Sadguru. The desire will not come in the heart that I need a teacher who can help me to get out of this worldliness. Guru. To search for a guru. That desire will not come. They will be happy. I read this book, I chant this mantra, I do this meditation. I was talking to someone, he was saying that I do every day 1 hour meditation. And they say, what is that meditation? Meditating, I meditate on my breath, for going and this and that. Well, yes, that's a good, but that is not the meditation we want. We want to meditate on God. God, the Satchidananda, who is full of bliss and peace, that we want. So, that's why Sadguru, you need a teacher who can just guide us. How to meditate, where to meditate, and how, what mantra to chant, and what are the struggles in their life. So we need a teacher, good teacher. So it's called, one cannot take refuge in a Sadguru. Even they get it, they don't believe them. They don't follow their instruction. They create their own meditation. Yeah, they take this guidance, but they modify according to their own wish. I like this, I meditate this way, I meditate that way. Is it that way you are taught? Or your guru has told you? They no. They forgot even what guru has told. By the process, they start doing in a whimsical way and even forgot what they have been taught, and they don't practice that. That's why this such a Vedanta book is talking about, unless the great blessings of God, the Supreme Lord, Parameshwar, Ishwar, Bhagavan, you don't have a desire to go to a teacher, to find a teacher, Sadguru. Sadguru, why he is saying? That Sadguru, Guru, as we have learned many things, Guru means who has, the qualification of the Guru will be that he is not doing this business of Guru, Gurugiri. That you give this money, this much money, then you get this and that. It is a gift of love for the spiritual benefit of us by a holy person who has no motivation other than helping us. So Sadguru, and also he should be practicing the spirituality, what he is telling us to do. So that type of Sadguru, you cannot get refuge. You may gimmick. There are many gimmicky teachers may be available in this, and you can go there, but still you'll have to wait for the right type of teacher. But that right type of teacher is impossible to get unless God's grace and special grace of Parameshwar. Here, Javanna Anugraha. Anugraha means kindness, grace. Sakshat Anugraha, direct grace. That is you know that you are graced by God. What? When you know that really you have got a good Guru, Sadguru. And it is God's grace, Parameshwara. Tavat na Sadgurun Kaschit, you will have no tendency to go to Sadguru. You will go to fake gurus. I should not say fake guru. The guru which has apparently charming gurus, those who people, thousands and thousands of people will go, and you may go there. There I respect everyone, because that is also a way to go for higher and higher truth, not to criticize them. But I am saying a sincere person will go to a right type. He will not go for any other purpose. His questioning should be God realization. And the teacher will only teach him God realization. If they come to talk about monetary business or this and that, they don't give that advice. That's why I say, for our gurus, don't ask for any material advice, that how to invest in bank or how to do good something material. They are failure because they are failure. They are not good businessmen in the world. So go to a person who are fit for that. So that type of teacher people will go and benefit in another way. By process, Guru will come. All are Gurus. The God is coming in every form. But take one from one step. Class 1 to class 2, class 3. You go by class, 10th grade, 12th grade, degree, college, university. No. All are teachers. We all respect all the teachers. But if you are a fit candidate like Rama, if he goes to the teacher of class grade 1 teacher, he will not get benefit, neither the teacher will get benefit. So he need to go to Vasishtha. Vivekananda need a teacher. He tried other teachers, but they didn't fit in. So he had to go to Ramakrishna. And Ramakrishna, there it fitted. That means there is the purest spirituality. So it said, Sat Sastra, and also your desire to read these are Sat Sastra. That Sastra, scriptures, which teach pure truth. No intermixing with this little sensuality, little monetary business, little this mixed together and sell. You know how religion is popular, we call popular religion. Popular religion, you can get money doing like that, you can get your all worldly desires fulfilled and spirituality. That's also nothing wrong. But for genuine seekers of truth, it is God's grace is necessary to have a Sadguru in our life, as also Sat Shastra, to read such heavy book what we are studying. Here there is uncompromising truth. It's not hiding something to tell us, sugar coating. There is no sugar coating in it. So that is the Sri Ramakrishna's, that's Vasishtha's suggestion that. But in the grace, this book has beauty. This is the uniqueness of this book. This translator is Swami Dhirishananda, one of our great Swami of our order, Vedanta Swami, Brahmagyani, he read that this grace, God's grace, there are 4 types of grace. How grace comes in our life. One, your own grace. You should be graceful to study the scriptures. You should feel interest when the scriptural study or satkatha or meditation prayer is going on. Your urge will be there to go there. So you should be first, your own grace is necessary. Second grace is the Shastra Kripa, this study of the scripture in depth. That grace, the scripture will, like a mother, will give us grace. Then is the Guru Kripa, they get to the teacher who teaches us unsolicited. That is the grace, is Guru grace. And fourth is the Ishvara Kripa, God's grace. So he has divided the grace into 4 categories, but more emphasis is there. If we have Guru grace, we have the grace of the Shastra and the scriptures, we have got Ishvara's grace, everything got. But my own grace, if I am not graceful to myself, if I don't want God, if I don't want liberation in this life, all grace becomes nothing. So, next verse 4th it says, O Rama, so only you have to go to a good teacher, because you have to cross a frightening river, so you should have a steady boat. And you want to purchase a boat, you go to a steady person who knows about boat. So, O Rama, only from a sailor can one obtain a sturdy boat capable of crossing the ocean. Just so forth, the Guru, who has attained the knowledge of the truth, one can obtain the means to cross over the ocean of worldliness. So, this is the 4th verse. And then 5th verse says, chapter 1, we are on chapter 1. Then who am I? Whose are these worldly bondages? This type of firm discrimination or bicharo is the only sure medicine for the long-lasting disease of worldliness. We are struggling in worldliness to get out of the worldliness. World is not a problem. Worldliness is our problem. So he says, who am I? First of all, if we analyze, who am I? Whose are these worldly bondage? Whose bondage is this? Where is my bondage? My hand is tight with anything? No. Where is the bondage? You have to understand where is the bondage. Bondage in your mind. That whose bondage is this? This type of analysis called vicharo is the only medicine. What medicine? To the disease. What is our disease? Our disease is world is true. This is all. And we have no time to think about something else. This is a disease. How to cure this disease? This is the only disease, that who am I? Whose are these worldly bondage? This type of firm analysis or discrimination or vichara, that is the only sure medicine for this long-lasting disease. This disease is long-lasting. Why? Rabindranath's song is there. Kabe ami bahir holim tumari patho che se to aajke noy, se aajke noy. Oh, Rabindranath Tagore says, I do not know, Lord, when I started my journey, not knowing fully well that I am searching to reach you. Life after life, to different experiences, I am just going on and on and on. I do not know where I am going, but I am running towards you, consciously or unconsciously. As the stream, which has its origin in the high mountain, flows. The stream, if you ask, where are you running? Where are you running? The stream will say, hey, I'm busy. Why are you asking all these questions? I have no time. Right, left, no question. Who are you? Why are you running? If anyone asks us, I have no time. I'm busy with this. I'm busy with that. I have so much work. How can I do that? Busy. That stream cannot say anything. But it knows or do not know, its goal is to reach the ocean. So we are all moving to reach the ocean. But people have no awareness. So this is the awareness. Sixth verse, don't leave where to live a spiritual person who is aspiring for God realization. What will be the best environment? Says a person yearning for liberation, mumukshu, means mukti ichha, the desire to get liberated. That person should live where he would live. He should live, not spend even a single day in that place where there is no holy man and a real knower of truth, who is like a cool shade and fruit-bearing tree. That means live with a holy association. And Ramakrishna repeatedly say, if you live with a holy association, holy thoughts will come all the time. If you live with a businessman, business thoughts will come to you. If you live with a politician or politically motivated people, political ideas you will be maturing in political ideas and thoughts. So you want to be spiritual, so live with spiritual people. Living only spiritual people is not spirituality, but to talk about spirituality, to kindle our inspiration, that is called sadhu sangha. Ramakrishna has mentioned it. That you live in a holy company. Even people go to holy company to talk mundane talks. That's very common. When you become more familiar, then talking to a holy man, we spend our time in just other talks. But at the beginning stage, as we are, we should always have some spiritual questioning. That's a sincere, rigorous person who wants the freedom to happen quicker. Seventh verse said, this sixth verse says that a person yearning for liberation, mumukshu, should not spend even a single day in that place where there is no holy atmosphere. Holy atmosphere means holy person and the person who can give us some cooling sensation in our heart. No, that's why. But it's a realistic life. You may not have get all that time, that chance, but we should make best use of it. When we are together, we can talk about God. That is holy company. And now in the modern age, to the computer, you can get all the YouTube, then your Zoom. Oh, how many tons of lectures and classes. Probably you have no time to listen to them even. It's beautiful music, uplifting classes, scriptures which we have never heard before, all are available. So take advantage, that is your holy company. Holy company is not only a book, that's a Shastra is a holy company, this is a holy company. You read Gospel, that's a holy company. You read Mother's Words, that's a holy company. You read Swami Vivekananda, that's a holy company. Whatever inspires you to be 24 hours, if we keep our mind absorbed, then that will create a mood, mumukshu, desire. More craving for God will come. And if we keep our mind in worldliness, worldly desire will come. Because it is an association, law of association. No? That's why the glory and holy company is always great, that all the scriptures say. So, sada santo vigantavya jadyapi upadeshantina yahi shaira kathastesham upadesha bhavantita. So even the holy man do not instruct all the time. Still, one should always go near the holy person to and serve them, because even their ordinary and spontaneous utterances carry great sense if they are real, genuine spiritual person. Anyone going to Ramakrishna in any way, they may not have understood Ramakrishna, but impact will have sure impact. If you drink poison knowingly or not knowingly, reaction will happen or not. So if you take whatever spiritual food, that because he is a spiritual person, their vibration, their impact will silently work. So therefore, but we have great opportunity here. We are every day, some sadhu sangha is going on, some sadhu is speaking, talking, meditating. You are all coming, whoever can come. Now we are unable to accommodate anyone, only. So therefore, but this, when you are listening this, you are getting holy company. You are reading this, you are getting holy company. So that should be that spontaneous utterances with the, even the book says whatever, if you can just focus, you will find that grace of the Shastra will make your mind pure. Ah, yes, that's true. Fossil example Ramakrishna gave, even this, some leaf in touch with a stone, the leaf becomes stone. No? That's a fossil. If fossil, you see the skull and other things of human skull or under long time in association, it becomes fossil. How it is possible? Association. Law of association is a great, great teaching we can learn from association. That's why keep the association to holiness, to purity. And then 8th verse says, in the presence of a man of wisdom, emptiness becomes fullness. If a person is spiritually illumined, you go with an empty mind, your mind will be full. You will feel joy, great joy, for no reason. Emptiness becomes fullness. And death becomes immortality. A person going with utmost distress goes to a holy man, they come back, you see the smile in their face. So it is such a fulfilling experience, and difficulties appear as a fortune. When a holy man really guides us, they don't say, oh, it is what a misfortune, oh, you have lost your this and that, you might have done bad karma. But going to them, we get inspiration. Hurry, this is an opportunity to teach you how futile is the existence here. So focus on God more. Holy association will always give a boosting towards God. So in their presence, this is a beautiful verse, in the presence of a man of wisdom, means women of wisdom also, emptiness becomes fullness, void, no void, it's full. Emptiness becomes fullness, death becomes immortality, and difficulties become a great fortune. Difficulties is no difficulty. Difficulty is awakening my consciousness. And they have their personal presence, injects that idea in us unconsciously. That's why when people go, when we are in distress, we go to holy people for counseling, this, that, so they can fill up these gaps of ours. Jnaninam vichittang chet kevalatmo sukhoditam satta sangsara dukkharta kangyanti saranam tada. 9th verse. If the Jnani's mind is exceedingly eager only to enjoy the bliss of the self, where then will those who are exhausted from the worldly suffering take refuge in the hope of attaining the peace? That means the Jnani is always open, their time for the good. But some Jnanis don't want human association, say want to be secluded. But he's saying that most of the Jnanis, after their realization, they open their door for others. So that people who are suffering in life, that they can get joy. Then the Viveka Chudamani, that's why it has been said that when a student goes to a teacher of such illumined person, the teacher says, oh, my student, oh, my learned one, you cannot perish. There is a way to cross the ocean of worldliness. No? Beautiful verse. Ma bhishta vidwan tavanasti apayo sangsara sindhas taraneostu payo jena iva yata jatayo stustu param tamiva margang tavanirdishami. That path I will show. I have reached that path. I will show you. So people in distress go to the holy people, get this boosting. 10th verse. That tajganam, that instruction which the Guru confers on the worthy student who is endowed with this passion. Why these lessons don't hold? Because we are not competent. If someone gives me a little drinking thing and my pot is or cup is little leak, he gave me one cup full of full brim nectar, but it goes, soaks away, slips away, drains away because of our attachment to the other things. That is, spirit does not manifest in us. So instruction which the Guru confers on the worthy student who is endowed with this passion, which is surely the true knowledge, is verily the sole meaning of the scriptures and the uninterrupted experience of knowledge. That means the instruction which the Guru confers to a worthy student who is endowed with this passion. That means student's capacity is that necessary. His mind should be ready, and it should be receptive. Receptivity is an important factor. Competence, that's the competence of the student. 11th verse says that, it is customary. 11th verse is very important. It's putting emphasis on your own effort. It's saying it is customary method of instruction. Guru tells you, sit this way, breathe this way, think this way, focus here, all the instruction and the mantra. But these are customary method given by the Guru to the disciple. But the student's wisdom, more important is the student. Same lesson is given in the classes and colleges and schools, no? Someone becomes top in the same class. There may be 30. Suppose state examinations. You have any state examination here? Some state examination for competitive study of higher courses or what? SAT. India we have at the end of 10th grade state-wise examination. So you have to compete with 200,000, 300,000 students. So there one is becoming first. They score mark 99.9, someone is 8.7. Competition is so fine competition. But they are also listening the same books. Examination is on the same mathematics, same English, same vernacular, whatever is there. But one is receptivity of the student. Teacher may be the same, but student's receptivity is the question. So this is very important. Merely the student's wisdom, that means the sharp intellect of discerning the objects, the unadulterated cause of knowledge. So our knowledge depends on that. That means our own effort, we should be up to that. The subject, again he said that the Supreme Lord is realized neither by the study of many scriptures, nor by having a guru. The aspirant experiences the truth of the self with the help of his own pure sattvico intellect. That means student's ability is the reason of manifesting the truth. How quickly, how promptly, how perfectly, the sincerity of the student. No? 13. How many verses are in our chapter? This first chapter only is having, it is a big chapter, so it has 27 verses. We have only 13 verses we read. So 13 verses says that all human potential is destroyed by not practicing those traits. We have some ability, but if we don't practice, then even the best talents will be forgotten. Suppose you don't cultivate, you have a musical talent, no? For example, if you don't cultivate that, then what will happen? That talent will be forgotten. Similarly, you have the spiritual talent of analyzing the world, permanent, impermanent, God is the eternal. This talent we never used as much, so the talent is within us, but that is dysfunctional, it has become dysfunctional. So, therefore, we should be careful. However, if it but one spark of the knowledge arises by God's grace, by holy company, spark of knowledge comes in your heart, it will go on growing steadily. And what has happened? Actually, this God realization is not to get something from outside. They are giving the verse 14 saying that an object, jewelry or ornament, no, in your neck, on the neck, and is believed that you have lost it. Many times it happens. The glass, eyeglass, where did I keep it? Due to forgetfulness, seems to have been remained without the mistaken belief is gone. We thought that it is lost. I have lost it. Where shall I find it? No, eyeglass, necklace, rings, or something. You have kept it in very safe place, but you don't find it. I thought you are lost, and you cry and weep. And when you get it, do you get anything new? It is yours. It was there. Only you forgot it. So Atman, not to get something. It is yours all the time. You only forgot and diverted your attention to something which you thought that it is important. He is the unfortunate indeed, 15th verse, who is unaware of his own self and only takes pleasure in the sense objects. As one who, having eaten poisonous food, after digesting it, comes to understand at the end that it is a poison. No? So it is said unfortunate. Who is unfortunate? Who is unaware of his own self. We are aware of everything of the world, but not aware of the own self. That's why it is called practice of the presence of God. All the time be aware. There is me. God is with me. So that awareness is great in spiritual life. And 16th verse says, the perverse fool who, even after learning there is no trace of sweetness in the worldly objects, remains attached to them. He is a perverse person who understands that there is no joy in the world, but again he gets attached and attached and attached. Whereas a duty you will have to do something. That's a different thing. But to be attached is the question. In detached state, what you do, it is not any objection to that. Anything you do with detachment as a duty is nothing problem. But when we get attached, then we get detached from God. Attached to the world means detached to God. Therefore, we are to be attached to God and detached to the world. So how this turning point is nothing but as the 16th verse says, the slightest desire submerge a person in grief. By the absence of such worldly longing, one attains imperishable. No? So desire. They enjoy the world, but not to be caught into the trap. That's the point. No? You live in the world, but live in the boat. The boat stays in the river or water. But water should not get into the boat. That's the problem. So this is live in the world, but in the detached outlook. When detachment is the source for all higher experiences. And due to delusion, a moment of dream appears to be 100 years. In the same way, the visible world of waking state also is a delusion. No? As you are seeing this, it is delusion, only the play of Maya and more erroneous cognition. It is like a dream. As we in dream, a moment's dream appears, how a whole night I am seeing dream, no? And in that dream, how long things are happening. But it is, similarly, this is the daydream. So we should have to think that way, and it is an erroneous cognition. Blessed, 19th verse, blessed is the very life of one who, being free from all attachments and aversions, can look upon this world as witness with a mind full of peace. Who is the blessed person? Who can see the world with dispassion as an observer and not get caught or attached to thing in it. Blessed is the very life of one who, becoming free from the thoughts of acceptance and rejection, has perfectly realized the Brahman consciousness reflected in the intellect. Who can understand that? That is the person, yes, blessed person. And so remain in the world. He has nothing to reject, nothing to accept. Whatever God brings, okay. Happiness comes, okay. Some trouble comes, okay. So they don't become disturbed. That is the peace, inner peace and tranquility. 21 verse, it says, when the body is destroyed, the space limited solely by the heart ceases to exist. Distressed by the notion that the self is destroyed, people unnecessarily mourn. It is a question. Everyone dies and we feel really lost. How can we not be affected by that? He said, no, body dies. Like given the example on 22nd, as there are different made clay pots and pans are there. So if it is destroyed, but the space remains the same. Here is a pot, earthen pitcher. Here is earthen glass. There is another pitcher, no? The space within is limited, no? Within the size of the pot and pan. Now, if you break them, the space is space. It was never divided. So this is one person, that is one person, that is one person. This you are making because of ignorance, making a wall of personality. If you break that, it is one Mahakasa. That's why one Swami gave a very good example to understand Vedanta. Well, this is very simple. Ghatakasa, Mahakasa. The space contained by one small pitcher and the cosmic space. What is the difference? On the wall of the pitcher. If you break that pitcher, ego is gone, all the body-mind identity goes, then space inside and space outside, which was one all the time, becomes one. So that is and therefore the Atman does not born, does not die. That is the eternal philosophy. Brahman alone eternally exists in the form of world illusion, Jagat Vivarta. So they talk about the Vivarta philosophy. Okay, now 24. Let me finish another 2-3 verses. And then he says that, O Rama, how can this Atman, which is vaster than the space, pure and subtle and imperishable and propitious, ever take birth or die? Atman never born, never die. So how can they die? Therefore 25 verse 5th verse says, this visible universe is without any beginning, with no middle, no end. It is beyond existence and non-existence. It is tranquil. It is nothing but the non-dual Brahman. Knowing thus, be happy. You want to be happy? Know that your body dies, body is born, body grows, mind develops, mind becomes dull. But you don't die, you are the infinite Brahman, Atman. Know this. 26th verse says that, O Rama, it is never desirable to lead a life without knowledge, enslaved in ignorance. It would be better to go for begging without a clay bowl in hand, wandering down the road leading to the home of worthless people. So it is desirable to lead a life without knowledge. We should not. We should be not leading a life without knowledge. Without knowledge, life is miserable. As we are always understanding, our all sufferings we are feeling for what? Because we feel that we are these limited bodies. If we feel I am Atman, how can there be some unhappiness or any suffering or anxiety, worries will come? Last verse, 27 verse says that neither disease nor poison nor adversity nor any other thing in the world can cause one to suffer more than these extroversions which arise due to body identity. Our identification with the body, because of my identification of the body, you are mine, you are not mine, I like it, I dislike it, because I am embodied. If I have no body, then I will not be identified with me, and there will be no mine. Me and mine is the world. See, if we said God and thine, thee and thine, it's spirituality. So, this is the idea ultimately. This ends in chapter 27 verse, which says that neither disease nor poison, not adversity nor any other thing in the world can cause one to suffer more suffering, rather than this identifying things with the external world. This, that, this, that. Okay, so we end here the chapter 1. We are thinking that we'll finish chapter 10 by 5 days. I do not know whether I shall be able to do that. But anyhow, let us struggle. We'll start second chapter. So we have synoptically gone through all the 27 verses of the first chapter and the introduction. So I have done a big job. Again, Prashno, the same. Some question says, is Brahman same for you and me, or for everyone? Of course, Brahman is Brahman. Brahman is the same for you, for me and everyone. Yes, Brahman, Atman does not need liberation. True, mind cannot get liberated. Who gets liberation? Atman does not need liberation. Yes, Atman, why he will need? Atman is liberation. Atman is freedom. Mind cannot get liberated. No, mind is, pure mind is liberated mind. Mind is impure. That in that impure mind we think is that I am bound. When the mind becomes pure, that is the mindless state, is called liberation. So yes, mind cannot get liberated, you may say in one sense. Who gets liberation? Who identifies with the mind? Who identifies with the body? That is called Jivatman. This is technical term, is Harsaraj Bharadwaj Mahabhattacharya asking, Atman does not need liberation. Good question. Atman does not need. Mind cannot get liberated. Who gets liberation? Who identifies this mind as mine? You know, we have three bodies. Yet again and again you come to this question. We have this gross body, we have the dream body, and we have the sleep body. That's called the gross, subtle, causal. So gross body is where my mind and body is identified. I identify with the body, I identify with other things with the help of mind. When the mind becomes purified, then what happens? I don't identify with the body. I identify with the divine within, because it becomes transparent. And transparency is the death of mind. And then mind gets freed, means mind becomes pure. And pure mind is no bondage. Its pure mind is beyond bondage. So, yes, who gets liberated? Jiva gets liberated. Jiva is who? Jiva is a assemblage of 17 elements, 24 tattva, or you can say Sukshma Sharir, 17 elements, 5 senses of eye and knowledge, 5 senses of action, 5 objects of the gross objects or subtle objects like space, air, ether, etc. and your ego and mind together, that is called the subtle body. And that is associated together as a package. When that purifies, then you go to the level of ego. And then ego, you get above that ego, that is the liberation point. So when we get out of our ego sense, then it is liberation. Okay? Thank you. Hello, Abhay. I am in the class, so I will call you.
Oh, yes, Father. Okay, very good.
Okay. Ar Krishna, thank you. So all the questions But it takes little time, Harsaraj. If you have, if you just understand Panchakosha, 5 sheaths idea, or the 3 states of our consciousness, then you will feel that mind remains up to subtle body, up to causal body. So when mind dies at the causal body, when it goes beyond gross body, I have a mind now, you understand. When I go to dream, there is a mind, we understand. And when you sleep, there is a mind, but mind is dysfunctional mind. It is resting mind. And when still then mind, and then when mind totally becomes purified, then that is the mindless. That is the liberation of mind, liberation of me. What a jiva, individual, is so long mind is there, it is a jiva. When mind goes away, you are Shiva. You become Lord Shiva. Okay, thank you all. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu. Tomorrow is?
Tomorrow at 10:30, we have the meditation class.
Acha, tomorrow 10:30 meditation class to be given by our Swami Sattamayananda, and tomorrow evening 7:30 gospel class will be given by Swami Atma Tattvananda. By the way, one question has come, at least let me read it. Attending to class from St. Louis, Acha. You know as me, thank you for letting me attend this class. Okay, thank you for joining. Thank you, Maitri. Jai Ma.
God.